So today I'm going to be comparing GoPro Max footage to the Insta360 One X, and I'm going to be using the optimal settings for both cameras. So if I need to use HDR video mode on the One X, then I will, and obviously the GoPro Max doesn't have HDR video mode but just has to deal with it. Let's move on to the next one. The weather in Greater London today is absolutely amazing. It's sunny, so I'm definitely going to get some good footage, and I'm also going to be testing the microphones on these cameras. And one of the headline features of the Max is shotgun-like microphone performance, and that is a really big statement. So I'm really keen to hear whether it can live up to that statement and how it compares to the Insta360 One X. So this is going to be a microphone test, and right now I'm standing next to the monopod, so I'm going to stand one step back. And how does this sound from one step away from the monopod? And now this is 2 steps away from the monopod. So how does this sound from 2 steps away from the monopod? And now this is 3 steps away from the monopod. This is 4 steps away from the monopod. And this is 5 steps away from the monopod. And this is walking up to the camera. And how does this sound to you?
Unfortunately, those are not allowed in the park.
Oh, all right.
Nothing motorised or electric is allowed in the park.
All right, okay.
Okay, are you on your way out now?
Oh, the way out's that side for us.
Right, okay. If you are taking the scooter, you'll need to switch it off and walk with it.
Well, thanks for the microphone test, I guess. So I'm just going to read a short story so you can hear what the microphone sounds like. So I'll do it with both cameras. So once upon a time there was an old mother pig who had 3 little pigs and not enough food to feed them. So when they were old enough, she sent them out into the world to seek their fortunes. So now let me try it with the other camera. So once upon a time there was an old mother pig who had 3 little pigs and not enough food to feed them. So when they were old enough, she sent them out into the world to seek their fortunes. Okay, so I hope you found the comparison useful between the GoPro Max footage and the One X footage. And if you did, then please hit the like button. Now, what I'm about to say is based on my first shoot and is subject to change in the future when I start to use the GoPro Max a little bit more. But from my first shoot, I have to say that the 360 camera that I enjoyed using the most is the GoPro Max. And the reason I say that is for two good reasons. Now, the first reason is being that I like to set manual settings. Now, when you set manual settings on the One X, you need to connect to your phone to control the camera, to set the settings, and then you press record. Then when you stop recording, this can sometimes lose your settings, and then you need to set it again. And even when you turn the camera off, it will lose your settings. But with the GoPro Max, however, you can set all your camera settings using the touch screen, and even when you turn the camera off, it will retain your settings when you turn it on again. So it makes it really easy to shoot with, and it saves you a lot of time. Now, the second reason I chose the GoPro Max is because of voice control. I didn't think I would use this feature that much, but I was using it all the time. Especially when I was on my electric scooter, I had the hat mount on my head, I had the GoPro Max on top, and I could just say, GoPro, start recording, GoPro, stop recording. And I could do that as many times as I want. My hands were on the handlebars, and it just made filming so much more easier and a pleasure to shoot with. So now let me give you a quick overview of the workflow that I used for these cameras. So for the One X, I took the INSV files from the camera. I then imported it into Premiere Pro. I then created proxy files so that it doesn't lag in my timeline. And then I edited the footage using GoPro VR Reframe plugin and then exported the video. Now with the GoPro Max, I recorded in H.265, which is a .360 file on the camera. I then imported that footage into GoPro Max Exporter, and that will convert the footage into a MOV file. Now the strange but good thing about the MOV file is that you can import it into Premiere Pro and it won't lag in your timeline, even at full resolution. So there's no need to create proxies. So I then edit the footage using GoPro VR Reframe plugin and then export the video. So in terms of workflow speed, they're pretty on par. Now in terms of video quality between these two cameras, based on my initial observations and my first day of shooting, I look at three things when determining video quality, and that's color, clarity, and stitching. Now with color, I'm looking for the most natural colors, and I think that's a really easy win for the GoPro Max. In terms of clarity, I'm looking at how clean is the image compared to how noisy is it, and I'm also looking at how sharp is it compared to how blurry is it. And again, I think it's a really easy win for the GoPro Max. I just prefer the video coming out of this more than the One X. Now in terms of stitching and in terms of the invisibility and the better stitch line, I think it's a really easy win for the Insta360 One X. Given the thinner body, it's just made to be better for stitch lines. The GoPro Max has a much thicker body. I don't think it's a bad stitch line, I just think there are best practices to put in place to reduce the stitch line effect. So if you want to download GoPro Max footage, then check out the link in the video description. All that I ask in return is that you subscribe to this channel because it really does motivate me to keep making more useful content for you. That's it for this video, and I hope you found it useful. Let me know what you think of the footage in the comments below. And if you want to see more GoPro Max videos, then make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.